And welcome to this edition of the Titusville Report on Brevard News, your home for real news in Brevard County. And as always, I'm joined by our contributor, Christopher Childs, and as always, our investigative reporter, Stell Bailey. And so what we are supposed to have, we're told in America, is a capitalistic society. What we actually have is a crony capitalistic society where you have companies who are dependent upon the government. They use the government for their own purposes. They take your tax money, use the government to ingratiate themselves, and at the expense of, as you just said, the whole.
Yeah.
And so here you have it with this issue that is coming up with the city of Titusville, right? Mm-hmm. And so you have this presentation of the funding options that is going to be on the agenda Tuesday for the Economic Development Organization. Now, this organization, and we've talked about it, has already stated that they're going to transition into a private entity. Tell me, Chris, again, talk me back off the ledge as to why Titusville should be giving this entity money.
You want me to argue that they should be giving them money?
No, just tell me why are they?
It's probably good to play devil's advocate.
Why are they?
For the good of the community, Kevin, they're giving away money.
Which community?
Specific, well, yeah.
Which community?
I think it's just
the business.
The business for
with them.
Certain businesses.
The cabal.
Businesses that would benefit. I mean, yeah, I don't know why they want to continue this. I haven't seen any great graphs and reports that say that Embeds itself was a great job creator here. I might have missed that slide.
That memo?
Yeah, that PowerPoint. I must have missed that slideshow. But if they could show that Embeds had a significant impact on jobs, job creation in this area in District 1, because that's what it was for District 1, then I would be like, okay, maybe we could continue it. But government creating jobs is never a great idea, I don't think.
Have we gotten still so far away from what this is supposed to be like that we've morphed into this, and then what it creates is cronyism.
Absolutely.
Right? Where you have certain individuals who have access to the levers of government, and they use the government to ingratiate themselves. And one of the ways you see it, Chris, is you see the same people, the same individuals over and over and over again. So two things that are going to be raised here on Tuesday is, one, the question of funding. And then two, who's going to be on this board? Am I wrong, Steph?
No, I mean, and so when you look through the agenda packet, which can be found online, and I really suggest anyone watching this start learning how to read the agendas and going through the packets. And there's attachments in there, and it shows you the people that are applying for this. And it's a lot of individuals who were a part of Embeds, which is short for North Brevard
Economic
Development Zone. And so that Embeds had people like Stan Retz.
Oh, Mr. There is no corruption in Titusville.
Yeah.
Just like we all know there's not corruption in the city.
Stan Retz, his name comes back over.
It's constantly coming up.
It's
constantly coming up.
Yep.
I mean, and again, he's on the hospital board. He's on other boards. He's now trying to get on the port board. I mean, this guy, why? Why?
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
I digress. Who
Well,
else?
another familiar name is Robert Jordan.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. And then when you look at all their applications, you've got a couple more people like Dan Ayton. He has Robin Fisher as his reference, and he has, of course. And you look at their references, and they're all referencing each other. So when you serve on a board, so I serve on a couple boards, and you're supposed to be next to people who don't agree with you, so you can all come to a pretty reasonable conclusion, right? You don't want to be sitting at a table where everybody just agrees with you all the time, 100% of the time. You want to be challenged in those situations if you're really truly representing the people.
Well, that's what happened with the hospital board out there. It's just that, I mean, you understand there's not much dissension that goes on there because they've stacked the board with yes men. And that's what you end up having.
You don't get creative solutions. You don't get
correct.
anybody fresh with ideas because you just have these people that are in the same cycle for what, 20, 30 years, and you wonder why nothing changes.
Well, Robert Jordan has been on the parish board for 30 years. Is it over 30?
No, it's over 20, but I don't think it's 30 because I think it was 98. I think he got on.
Yeah, I think it's
Or
reaching
99,
up.
98 or 99.
It's quite up. It's
So
up there quite
20,
a bit.
28 or 20, yeah, something. Yeah.
And so you have that. And so, Chris, again, you have the same people. So let's look at two things. First off, should the city of Titusville fund this entity?
No, I think they should. If they're going to be shooting for being a non-taxing and they're trying to work off their own revenue, then they need to start like any other business and they need to apply for a loan. But I don't see how this organization is going to self-fund itself, because if you're just going to act like a bank, is that how they're going to make money? Is, hey, we'll give you money if you pay us back, or or like an investor. So say an investor says, well, we'll give you the money to open, but then we get 5% of your revenue per year until you pay us back, and plus this much interest or whatever. So if they're acting like an investor, I could see that. And if you're going to do that, then start off by you getting a loan.
But basically, what they're asking is for the citizens,
Yeah,
to
to
give them
start.
seed money
Yeah.
for their business
Yeah.
that they're going to turn into a private business.
Yeah.
It's
It's going to be a board appointed by, it's going to be the board that has always been there, that's always the same people. I'm applying to the board and you're my references, and you're applying to the board and we're your references, and we're just going to keep helping the same people we always
they'll
help.
make it make sense. Make it make
It's
sense.
a way to hand golden tickets to their friends. That's what it is.
And again, in
Willy Wonka,
see
Willy Wonka land.
where they're using government, they're using your taxpayer dollars to fund their private businesses so that they can make money. This is not capitalism. This is crony capitalism. This is not capitalism at all. In capitalism, I go out and I start a business. I take all the risk. No one floats me. It's the risk is on me. But what they're asking the government here, and they're going to talk about this on Tuesday night, is for the citizens to take the risk.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, and they already have money that's left over from embeds that they're going to use. But
So much information on this out there too. It says when a government sets aside a specific area like an economic zone to boost business, they essentially create a mini country with its own rules. While this can jumpstart the economy, the group of people running the show can easily become a breeding ground for trouble if there isn't enough oversight. So the thing that I think the city of Titusville residents need to be asking, there wasn't enough oversight with the recent theft with the water department, and that was going on for 20 years. So do you think there's going to be enough oversight in this venture?
And if you think this type of organization is a good idea, do you think that the Fed, at the federal level, the
And
Federal
that's what
Reserve,
we're having problems now.
it's the same kind of entity.
Right.
It really is the
Correct.
same kind of entity.
Correct.
You have the government that appoints these people, but then they operate with no oversight.
Do you think that the real problem is that we've become so accepting of the government bailing out everyone at
Yeah.
every level that people are just comfortable with this, and it's causing the very problems with corruption and cronyism, and the people don't see the connection there?
I do. I think that people just don't understand how all of this works, and they need things like Brevard News to teach them and show them and open the door to say, this is what's going on in your government.
Right. And you don't, a lot of people are not talking about that. It's like it's not that big of an issue, but when you look at how the country is supposed to be governed, this is not capitalism.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a possibility that land is sold cheap to friends. And we've seen that with certain lobbyists locally where they've been able to grab up land.
Correct. And so they go and they buy land. They get their people on the city council, on the P&Z, to make the right decisions. The property values soar. They walk off making a pretty penny on it.
There's just a lot of questions with this. And I think that, with the recent loss of trust regarding the theft in the water department, and we know it goes beyond that. They don't want to talk about the wife that worked in the financial department. They don't want to talk about the other employee who left. They don't want to talk about what's going on in the Titusville Police
Oh
Department
no,
right now.
this is a lone wolf.
No, they don't work in packs now, do they?
This is over. Oh, we're moving on. And by the way, we set up a hotline there for all of you suckers that want to call it so that we can find out who's really leaking stuff in Titusville. You can't make this up. Only in Titusville will we have this kind of things going on. You guys have the last word on it.
Well, I was going to say, we've heard some rumors, and of course, we don't put everything out there. And it just seems like maybe someone's putting out fake things to try to figure out who the leaker is. And if to the people who think that we're fake news and putting out fake news, why are you doing a mole hunt for a leaker? We're not real news.
It's fake news, right?
Right. If it's not real, then why are you looking for a leaker?
Oh boy.
But we don't just put out anything. We verify it multiple sources. We don't just get one person. So if you're just trying to leak it through one person,
Listen, they got moles inside of moles.
you might even be listening. I don't know.
You know what? You'd be better off just acting right, and you wouldn't have to concern yourself with trying to find a leaker. I mean, to those people who are leaking, those whistleblowers, kudos to you. You're doing yeoman's work. Kudos to you for acting right and wanting to get to the bottom of what's true. And that's it on this edition of the Titusville Report. And as Titusville turns and turns and turns, we'll turn right with it. And to bring you the real news in Brevard County.